Hi all, I call myself Zazen Frog here. I'm a lay Buddhist, a practitioner of Zazen, and it's been a quite while since I first made this YouTube channel, but I haven't made a lot of videos so far, and I came up with the idea of gathering questions from people, and by answering that I'm going to try to say something about Buddhism and Zen practice based on my first-hand experience of actually practicing them. So here's the first question I got from one of my friends in Facebook, and the question was, what's the merit? What's the benefit of doing Zazen? And very good question, actually. Shortly said, briefly said, the best benefit of doing Zazen is that you will get to suffer less in your life. That's one short phrase, but I think it's quite well said about why we do Zazen. One of the best reasons is that we will get to suffer less. And back to the period of the Buddha, that was his intention, that he realized that whatever he will do in his life, he will suffer, or human beings will suffer from being born, and from old age, and from illness, and from death. So he just wanted to know what that suffering was about, and how he would get away, or not get away, but not suffer from them. So that's why he started practicing. And so back to Zazen, I first would like to explain what suffering is. First of all, the definition of suffering here is not so much of the physical suffering, for example, pain or itch or whatever physical suffering would be. That can't be get rid of as long as you're alive. But the suffering I will be talking about from now on, is the psychological suffering of human beings. And so why or how do we suffer from psychological sufferings? One of the primary cause of suffering is that there's division between someone you think that you think you exist, and the thing that makes you suffer. So there are two things: what you, and something that makes you suffer, right? So there's division between these two. And so why do we suffer? There's something you hate, or something you like very much, and there's you that approaches that thing you like or you hate. Okay? And suppose that you succeeded in getting what you like very much, and you're satisfied with that. Okay? What happens then is that you will want more of it. Obviously, you get temporarily satisfied with it, but that makes you want more of it. And it's good if you can get everything you want as you wish, but if you recall your own experience, that wouldn't be the matter, right? There are things you are successful in getting, and there are things that you wouldn't be able to get. So this fluctuation between successful getting of what you want and unsuccessful getting of what you want. This makes you suffer because you can't get everything you want. And also for something you don't want. So again, with these fingers, there's this you and there's this something you don't want, and you try to push it away. Sometimes you're successful in pushing it away, but sometimes it's impossible to push it away at all. So that means that you're not satisfied with that something being there because you don't like it. So if the situation is not 100% controllable, we wouldn't be able to eradicate that suffering by doing something with the outer factors. Something like getting what you want or pushing away what you don't like. So we have to change how we think about doing something with it to not how can you say that? Not needing to change anything or want anything. And in short, if you do Zazen, you approach that habit of first dividing a thing into two, you and thing. And then also you approach that habit of approaching that thing according to your likes and dislikes. So how we do that? That's the main point about doing Zazen. And when you do Zazen, you prevent, or not prevent, but you are one. You are not one, but you don't divide things into two. So that means one, but if you say one, there's one in other things. So it's not really correct to say one, but be a bit more accurate to say that you don't divide things into two. And how can it be possible? One thing would be to just focus on one thing wholeheartedly. By doing that, you are not dividing things into two. So traditionally, there are a lot of objects of focus. For example, there's breath, and when you really focus on breath, you won't be feeling that there's you who is breathing and there's this breath that you are observing or you're breathing. Okay, so just try it for a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes. Just you really focus on your breath or whatever you're looking at, or whatever object, say something like your finger. So do it just for 1 minute. And you will notice, or you won't notice, but you are already there where you aren't dividing things into two. And when you don't divide things into two, it's impossible to approach things from the outside because there's no one that approaches it. Nor when you really focus on one object, you wouldn't feel that there's an object there. There's just this experience of breathing. When you breathe, there's just breathing, and any breather or breath that is being breathed. So that's the point, not to divide things into two. And then by being that, or by practicing that, you will straightening, or you will approaching that habit of, usually we're dividing things into two, so you are approaching that habit. And when you approach that habit and it's corrected, that means that you won't see this me and things into two as a habit. You can deliberately see things into two in terms of our everyday lives, because without that we wouldn't be able to live, communicate in a lot of ways, but not as a habit. You can intentionally do that, but we have a habit of seeing things in divide things into two, me and objects. So first we approach that, and that means that we get rid of the habit of liking and disliking and approaching things from likes and dislikes. And that means that we won't be dependent on these likes and dislikes, and that leads to the eradication of suffering, because when we suffer, there's always this want for more, or there's this pushing away of something that is here and now. And as long as we push something away or keep wanting according to our habit of likes and dislikes, that means that there's always a possibility to suffer. So the merit, back to the merit point, is that we suffer less by correcting our habit of seeing things into two and being in our original state, in which we don't see things divided into me and things. So hope this made sense. This is my first video doing things like this. So questions are welcome, and something that is not very clear, please ask questions, further questions, so that I can clarify them more. Okay, so that's for it for this time. I see it next time. Give me questions so that I can answer them. See you. Thank you for watching the video.